transaction that involves one sub-ledger account only. For these journal transactions, there will be 4 dialogues, each requiring minimal amount of data to capture. Dialogues. 1. Type of transaction to choose. 2. Attributes of transaction. 3. Sub-ledger account of transaction and amount. 4. Contra entry of the transaction.
Let us see an example. An invoice manually created on 15th April 2023 by Sales Department for East-West Trading for value of LKR 25,000. This amount should be credited to local sales account.
Under Financial and Material Management System, under Financial Process, Financial TX, the function to process AR journals and AP journals can be found. In the first dialog, system will list the type of transactions, document code, transaction code that are set up for posting. Each transaction varies by purpose and other attributes. We are choosing customer invoice that does not require approval or confirmation. It is used to process transaction created outside the system manually. In the next dialog, processing of transaction commences by accepting the attributes such as cost center, date of the transaction, narration to identify the transaction, and upload or scan manual documents related to this transaction. Voucher date is 15th April, but posted on 30th April. Can add comment. You can scan document or assign scan file already in your file. In the third dialog, sub-ledger account and the amount in the account currency need to be specified. Whether sub-ledger account is debited or credited depends on the transaction type. We pick East-West partner code and default sub-ledger account trade debtors is used and the currency of account is LKR and it is a debit to the account. Due date is computed by the system based on the credit period of the account. Final dialog is to specify contra GL entry to GL entry for the sub-ledger control account. This could be one more entries. We pick the main account sub-account cost center and supply the amount and choose credit and update. Since the debit and credit is matching system, will allow confirming by clicking create button. It will generate transaction number of the transaction and display and print voucher. If the parameter is set, it will instead of print, view will directly print in the default printer. You can enter the next transaction of the same type or return choose another transaction type to enter. We enter the following transaction. An invoice needs to be processed for Adam Expo with value 49,500 rupees on 22nd October 2022. Cost center will be sales. Contra GL entry should be to the local sales account and VAT as Adam Expo is VAT registered with standard, while East-West was 0 rated, that is not VAT payable.
When we enter the following transaction attribute dialog will be as follows after supplying all values. Note financial year accounting period. As per voucher date, financial year accounting period should be 2022/7, but for the year 2022, accounting period up to 11 has been finalized and no entries can be posted. Therefore, it will be posted financial year 2022 accounting period 12. Sub-ledger account dialog will be as shown when all the values are supplied. When update button is clicked, GL entry dialog will appear with an entry for tax component of the transaction. By clicking transaction definition in the first dialog, you can view the characteristics of the transaction definition. As per definition of this transaction, transaction was defined transaction that is the amount charged to the subledger account is inclusive of tax and, by clicking the button, you can observe the taxes applicable. As per definition for this transaction, VAT tax is applicable.
VAT tax percentage defined elsewhere for VAT for standard category is 11% from 2022 1st April. It did not appear for East-West as it was not applicable. But for Adam Expo it is applicable as defined elsewhere. We can complete the transaction by posting the income component to the local sales GL account.
Let us look at a transaction of the supplier. Invoices dated .2023-05-31. Were received from calls. For LKR 277,500 for vehicle maintenance of vehicle. Nissan car belonging to production department. Choose AP journal in the menu. Choose supplier invoice. This is for supplier invoices not generated by operations system, such as utility invoices. Subledger account dialog after supplying values. Note that subledger is changed expense creditors from default trade creditors for calls. GL entry dialog will have tax component defaulted, as we have indicated that this transaction is tax inclusive with VAT at 11%. We need to specify the expense account transport cost main account and maintenance sub account. When sub-account is specified, fields will appear requesting the fixed asset that is associated with this account so that you can analyze the maintenance cost associated with each fixed asset without having separate GL number for each fixed asset. Elsewhere, in the definition for this sub-account, we have specified that this account is associated with fixed asset, which means specific fixed asset associated with this should be specified when a debit or credit is posted to this account. Type of expense associated could be operating, maintenance and income. Let us take another invoice. CEB send us an invoice for LKR 111,000 for electric supply on 2023 30th April inclusive of VAT. Notice the default subledger of utility creditors. When the GL entry screen is displayed, all entries are filled by the system, which of course can be varied. There are 3 entries. First entry for tax, as we have specified this transaction attracts VAT tax, and the other 2 are cost distribution of this transaction. This is because elsewhere, in the attributes of the partner account for electricity board utility creditor subledger, we have specified that for all journal entries manually posted, not for payment and receipt, we have specified default GL entries of the amount after deducting tax that is attributable to a revenue account. For establishment electricity account, 70% for production cost center and 30% for administration. You could specify default GL distribution to any subledger account, which will apply to transaction manually processed in the financial system. These will not be applicable for entries generated by operational system, where GL distribution will be decided by the rules of the operational system. You cannot specify the GL distribution to posting of GL accounts requiring fixed asset number, shipment no or internal order no. Let us take another transaction. We need to create a credit note for East-West trading for 1000 rupees. Because We have invoiced them for a wrong amount of 25,000 rupees instead of 24,000. Note that credit note requires approval by another person for appropriateness of the e-credit note and confirmation for correctness of the entry.
Once GL distribution is completed, when you click Create button, transaction would have been confirmed and source document printed. It would not happen as it require both approval and confirmation by two other people. We log on with another user account X to approve and execute pre-approved transaction. Select the transaction to approve by query. We have only one transaction pending, we need not have selection criteria. If required, browse various details and approve or reject. If rejected, transaction will be cancelled. User accept logs on to confirm authorize the transaction using the same AR Journals function. Click the button to complete transaction. Select the transaction. Selection criteria defaults to status and voucher date. Additional criteria can be added. Authorize of the selected transaction will show the sub-ledger account transaction in the financial transaction. Authorizing details will authorize the whole financial transaction. If any mistakes are found, it should be referred to creator to correct. If we have several transactions to process and they are available in the appropriate format in Excel, it can be uploaded to the system. This the appropriate Excel format.
We will use the function upload sub-ledger account journal. We will specify the Excel file location. We will start the upload process. We will look at GL journals where there are no sub-ledger accounts, but GL entries only accounts. A transaction cost of sale of 100,000 has been posted to cost center 20 where, as it should be posted to cost center 30. Only difference is the sub-ledger account dialog, in which no sub-ledger account to specify. Let us take another example. Payroll for executives is outsourced. An outsourcing company gives the following GL entries. Salary 2 million, EPF 240,000, ETF 30,000, crediting salary control. GL entries can be captured in the normal way as shown. Or GL entries from the outsourced company can be got in this Excel format and copy-paste. Use JRE Pay transaction type in which the GL numbers are predefined and only amounts need to be captured. You can see definition of GL numbers associated with this transaction instance. When the GL distribution appears, GL numbers will be defaulted and amounts can be entered. We will look at a transaction where more than one partner account is specified. Adam has been invoiced LKR.35700 on 15th of April 2023, but it has wrongly posted to East-West Trading. It needs to be corrected. Function to use will be multi-partner account TX. Financial transaction attribute dialog is no different from single subledger account transaction we did earlier. This dialog provides faculty to enter multiple sub-ledger account transaction, each with different transaction types. Credit note for East-West to reverse the incorrect posting. Debit note to Adam Expo to charge for the right amount. Transaction completed but confirmed, but in created stage, as credit note requires approval and confirmation. Let us take another transaction. From Commercial Bank LKR 50,000 was transferred to Colt with BNK charging LKR 50 as charges. BNK as document code and IBC for the BNK transaction and debit note for Colt's transaction. Bank is credited 50050 calls, is debited 50,000 balance need to be debited to bank charges. You can do that by clicking the GL entries button.